The Student Room recently held a live Q&A with university application experts from Teesside University and the University of Kent. Our members asked the experts all kinds of questions about applying to university. Here's a roundup of some of their best advice.
There are lots of things to consider when choosing a course. You may want a programme with a year in industry or a year studying abroad. Ideally, you'll be looking into course content and making sure exactly what's offered is what you're looking to study. By way of this, we mean have a look at compulsory modules plus optional modules available at each specific university.
Choose something you enjoy. You're likely to put more effort into it, which will reflect in the achievements and module grades you get. Also think about your career pathway. Will your undergraduate qualification allow you progression to employers and what they're looking for? And if it's postgraduate study, then think about the course and does it allow progression to that?
It can be quite tricky to decide which university you would like, especially if there's quite a few. So have a look at the affordability. Is it quite cheap or expensive in the location that you're going to be staying in? Are there good transport links? Where is the university based? And is the university investing a lot of money into the campus and their facilities?
Maybe think about, do you want to go to a campus or a city university? Because those are two big distinctions between different universities here in the UK, and that's kind of the main way that they will vary. So if you have a particular preference for a campus or a city university, then that could be a great way to narrow down your shortlist of choices. So if you're interested in a course and the entry requirements are a little bit higher than your predicted grades, it can still be worth submitting an application. When it comes to results day, universities will often have a bit of wiggle room when it comes to letting people onto their courses. Obviously this can depend on the university and how many applications they've received, as well as how competitive it might be. So it's definitely worth having a good insurance choice if you are thinking of doing this. And also consider foundation entry options if you want another way onto that course with slightly lower grades.
Predicted grades aren't set in stone. They're exactly that, the predicted grades and not final grades. I'd recommend applying for a range of different universities with higher and lower entry requirements. Just in case you don't get into the ones with the higher requirements, you might then get into one of the alternative ones with the lower entry requirements.
Voluntary work is a really fantastic thing to include on your university application. We'd advise you that you can put it in both the employment section and the personal statement section of your application. Obviously in employment, you can just list the basic details of what it is that you did and how long you worked there. But in the personal statement, that's a really fantastic opportunity to unpack a bit more about the skills that you developed, the things that you learned, and also more importantly, how you're going to apply that on your course.
Most universities with the January 26th deadline will be making the decisions as they come throughout the autumn, but some will actually wait until January time and then make all of their decisions all at once. However, according to Ucas, as long as you apply before the 26th of January, your application will be assessed fairly and equally with all other applications submitted by that time.
Universities have to respond to all the applications they've received by the 19th of May. So hopefully you should hear back a good while before your exam results come out in terms of the applications that you've made. But yeah, so 19th of May is when universities will respond at the absolute latest, but often it will be earlier.
Each university is different. Some universities like to interview, some courses require interview for entry onto the programme. My best advice is to remember that if you apply through Ucas, you're always eligible for interview, so make sure you really read over your personal statement and do some interview prep work to put your best foot forward.
Your personal statement plays a big part in influencing admissions tutors to invite you to interview. However, you should check this on individual university course pages under their entry requirements and shortlisting criteria, or by contacting their admissions services.
If a university decides to make you an offer or wants to invite you for an interview, then generally this will take place 6 to 8 weeks after you submitted your application. So if you've applied to the October deadline, that might be in November. If you applied at the January deadline, that might be in March or April sort of time. The person they'll be informing ultimately is you, so make sure that you keep an eye on your Ucas track and that you're not missing out on any interview invitations or any offers that you've received from your universities.
If you have an interview for your desired institution and thinking about rejecting any other interviews you may have, then you can do this through Ucas or by contacting the universities that you're no longer interested in. However, please bear in mind that this may be a conditional offer and you still need to pass the interview, so you may want to keep your options open and attend others.
My advice is to go through the interview process at each institution that invites you. It's a great opportunity to get experience as to the interview process, and you never know, you might change your mind based on that applicant day or interview session.
If you haven't got an offer from your dream university, then it's not the end of the story there necessarily. There is still the option in many cases to apply through clearing. Most universities will enter clearing after results day as a way to fill the vacant spaces they have on their different courses. So depending on what you've applied for and where, there may still be an option to get in through clearing, as oftentimes those courses will then have slightly lower entry requirements as well. So it's definitely worth holding out hope for clearing.
You might want to reconsider your course choices, as you can't apply to the same course in the same application cycle. You can apply to different courses as long as they still have places available.
Main thing to remember at this moment in time is don't panic. You've still got time to consider your options, and as long as you've done your research into universities and the courses they offer, then that'll be great.
One final piece of advice that I would give about applying to university is just to trust your instincts. Ultimately, you're the one that knows what it is that you want out of your university experience. You know what you're imagining for your course and for your university and where you're living, and you're the one that's going to have to actually go to that place and have those experiences. So trust your instincts, go with your gut, and really look for what it is that you're going to enjoy out of your university experience, and you'll have a great time.